Hi, I'm Mariah Mickelson, and I'm going to be talking about my presentation for ISBA. It's our research questions that we did, and so my research question was, how will AI affect our education for our future generations? And what I learned is that there's like a lot of pros and cons to AI, and there's a lot of people that will argue both points instead of just choosing one, because honestly it's like such a broad topic and there's so many different possibilities for a future based on how AI will eventually advance and improve, and how we can prevent the cons and maybe push more of the pros. But right now it's pretty early stages in AI, and ChatGPT just kind of is a really big thing now compared to back when I was in high school a couple of years ago. So basically, the cons that I have found is that it can help improve our education by individualizing learning. It more specifically will be able to help target what an individual needs and how they can learn to be them best, or like to take the information in the best way to apply it in their life in their best ways themselves. So that's a really big key thing, and it'll help teachers be able to support the different learning ways, because it like will take the load off. It's used to support the teachers that can like be able to help like with this, but it's not used to replace, because we obviously need our like human thinking, and AI just can't do some of the things that the teachers or people can. And so I think that's very important to consider when talking about this. And another thing is it gives access and access to a wider variety of information. It pulls all information from everywhere. So it's really going to help us absorb material that we were never once able to like view, or we wouldn't even have known about unless it was for AI being able to generate all this, or like process all this information and then be able to throw out and generate things that we would have had to search for maybe days, weeks, months, even years for. So I think that's definitely a really big help. Another con that we can see is plagiarism. I know that a lot of schools, universities are having problems right now, and AI detectors like kind of help with this, but like sometimes teachers don't even like use those. But plagiarism is a big problem because some people will throw the assignment prompts, just throw them out there, and then they will just look at ChatGPT and be like, okay, this looks good, copy paste it into their assignment, submit it, and bam, that's plagiarism right there. They didn't say anything, and it's also cheating in most schools and university policies. So if you get caught doing that, it could be really bad. I think another con would be decline in critical thinking. We can just type a prompt into any AI, anything like that, and just like it'll pop up an answer, instead of us having to like sit and break down a process. It does save time, yes, but we need, as people, we need to have these critical thinking skills, because it's very important as a society. It'll push us forward and help us better advance if we have our critical thinking skills. But if that's just taken over by AI because we can just type in a question, it's not going to be good for our future generations in education. So hopefully there's a way to fix that, and obviously we're not relying heavily on that. So the research tools I use for the four provided for the scholarly ones, and then the 3 AI ones. So I use Business Source Ultimate, Science Direct, Academy Search Ultimate, Google Scholar, Scite, Research Rabbit, and Perplexity. So I found the most useful and effective one for the 4 scholarly ones was Google Scholar. And this is because I'm more familiar with Google websites and they're a lot easier to access, and I just really enjoyed using Google Scholar because it also had a lot of good articles. I was scrolling through a lot of them, and they really directly correlated more than all of the other ones that I had to look through, because the other ones, they were less like correlated to my thing and more of just like a little bit of the specifics. So it's kind of hard for me to find a specific one that I think really helped me understand my research topic. So Google Scholar did a really great job of that, as well as Google Scholar had it showed like peer reviewed like right away, and like I could see it. But some of the other ones, it didn't say peer. I'd have to do like a little bit more digging and stuff like that. So I think that really helped me go through that and do the articles that I needed to do for that. So the traditional or the AI tools that I'll continue, and I'll obviously continue to use Google Scholar like I just talked about, and then a really good AI tool that I used was Skype. It was really well set up. I was just able to type in a prompt and then go click in, and I think the other ones kind of had a like little bit harder time for me personally to like go and deep dive in and really like see the peer review or anything like that. So Skype really helped. It had a really good article. I liked what it talked about. It directly correlated too, so that was really, really nice. So this project does mean a lot to me because I think it's so important to see how our future generations are going to be affected by different things and like technologies and stuff like that. Because honestly, right now, having AI and stuff is like so convenient, and I definitely see it impacting us a lot because people do tend to use ChatGPT a lot for like college assignments and stuff like that. So I definitely think it needs to be regulated, or something needs to happen to where it can be limited. And it also means a lot to me because like eventually in the future, like obviously I see it day to day now, but in the future, like my children, they will have like way more advanced technology, and it's fascinating to see how it can like simply impact them, and it'll be able to maybe help them in their education or maybe even hurt them in their education with all the pros and cons I talked about. And I really think that as a society, we really need to take a bigger look at being able to make sure we're learning all the things we need to learn without using technology, because I know now a lot of people would really struggle in college if they did not have AI, anything like that to help them. And back in like say the 80s, like when our parents were going to college, like none of them were able to use AI, and they still had to like learn all this stuff. So I think there could be a potential where we're not learning as much information and not using our critical thinking skills as we need to. And so, but overall, yes.
Is that what the smell is?
But overall, yes, I think that another thing that it means a lot to me is because it really just impacts me now, and I love to see how things like correlate to the future. And yeah, so that was my presentation. Thank you.